We're gonna do something special today. See this thing I got right behind me over here? That is a concrete forming tube. And what we're gonna do with this concrete forming tube today is we're gonna make something out of it. And what we're gonna make is going to blow you away, no pun intended. And of course, when I wanna film, everybody is getting their lawn cut, their leaves blown, and trees cut down, because that's just my luck. But anyway, we're gonna take this concrete tube, okay? And I'm gonna show you guys all the other stuff that I got to, and what we're gonna make with this concrete tube. No, we're not pouring concrete. We are going to, however, use this tube. It's pretty sturdy. It's made of cardboard, obviously. And we're going to use it to make something, and I'm gonna show you guys. So we're gonna take a little walk into the magical garage. There's my buddy right there. His hat's not on. I'll show you guys some of the other stuff that I got for this project. Okay, so I did a little shopping quite a while ago for this project. I'm gonna go in the shade over here, take a look at what it is that I got. Well, one of the things that I got is this, and if you guys can't tell, it's for the 4th of July. Don't ask me what happened back there, I don't know. Somebody literally burnt that or ripped it. We're not really sure how that happened. So we got these, which I bought from Joann's Fabric, and they cost $12.99, which I thought was a little ridiculous, but the good thing about Joann's is that they always have coupons for the stuff that, you know, they sell there. So I found a cheaper alternative, I believe at Walmart. I believe I bought these at Walmart, even though they're in a Dollar Tree bag. Now you might be saying, what the hell are those? Well, we're gonna show you. And some of the other stuff I got here with some patriotic bows. These are from Dollar Tree, or should I call it $1.25 Tree now, because everything is $1.25. And I bought these stars. I'm not really sure if I'm going to use these stars, but we'll figure it out as we go along. So in case you guys haven't guessed by now what we're making, it's going to be a giant firecracker, or whatever you guys call it. I don't know, we call firecrackers here. So we got this, and I think this is gonna be one of the easiest projects that we've ever done. So the outcome is that we're gonna wanna make it look like it's exploding. So we're gonna have something like this sticking out of it, and we're going to use this long concrete tube to make it look like a firework. But the first thing we have to do is we're going to have to paint this. And I want to use something that's going to kind of seal it and weatherproof it a little bit. So, okay, so step one is going to be using this stuff, which is called Kills. And it is, it's basically a primer, stain blocker, and it also kind of seals things for when they get wet. Yeah, blocks water, smoke, and tannin stains. Mine's a little old. We bought it quite a while ago, and as you guys can see, I'm already starting to sweat because it's pretty hot out here. But anyway, I'm gonna try using this to paint it. So let me set up over here and get my shit together. Okay, I don't have a drop cloth, so what I'm gonna use is this garbage bag. These giant leaf bags make really good drop cloths. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna cut it in half and make it a little bigger. So just go down this line here as best you can get it. And there we go. We got a giant drop cloth garbage bag. Oh, we got that. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put something down like in the center just to kind of hold it. So let me go find something real quick. So I just got this old can of paint here. I'm just gonna put that down. Not that that's gonna really help too much, but it'll help keep it a little bit more sturdy. Oh, very important, if you have your nails done, I would suggest putting gloves on, which I'm gonna also do. So we're just going to quickly open this and see what we're working with. I just got this handy dandy little stirrer here, and I am going to mix that around. There's really not much in here, but paint usually doesn't go too bad, so it looks all right now that I'm mixing it up. I have very little left in this can, but that is fine. Stuff definitely has a strong odor to it, so if you're painting inside, I would definitely suggest doing so with open windows and stuff, because it's pretty strong. I'm just going to put these gloves on. May I suggest these gloves? These are the these are from Harbor Freight. I should definitely put something down to stop that from happening. These are the natural, I don't know how you say it, gloves from Harbor Freight. They're cheap and they're very heavy duty. So if you're like me and you have rings on and you have long nails, so far I've been using these for months and I haven't had any issues with my nails ripping through, which typically happens for me with regular rubber gloves. To use this angled brush, even though this isn't typically what I would suggest using, I just don't want to go down in my basement. I'm like so creeped out because there's crickets down there. So I'm just going to start painting this with this little brush here. Oh yeah, and this stuff covers pretty good for what we're doing. We're just trying to get you know, get a basic coat on it so that it's white.
Now, it wouldn't be a makeup mobster video unless I got paint all over something, as you'll see in a second.
Oh yeah. Oh no. All right, be careful if you're painting on your expensive patio. It just went flying everywhere. Oh shit, I just made it worse. Hold on.
Now, I was luckily able to take care of that with some Oops, which takes off paint. This stuff is like magic, but really you just have to be extremely careful when you're painting on a small surface like I was. I probably should have put down a bigger drop cloth, but you live and learn.
All right, that first coat literally dried within seconds. A, because it's hot as balls out, but also because in the sun, I guess.
Yeah, I was sweating pretty bad during this, as you guys could see.
I legit got paint on my eye and my forehead. Oh no, that's sweat. Yeah, that's gonna be fun to get off later. So we're gonna just quickly throw on a second coat, and then I'm gonna let it dry for just a little bit longer. I just want to really cover, you know, you guys can see over here where we can still see that logo. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the logo is still there. I'm a little upset about this dent right here, but that'll be the back. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna do another coat on this and then let it really sit here and dry for like a good hour or two. So I'm gonna do that and I'll be back.
All right, so we got a full coverage white here. Oh my God, I got more paint right here. You know what? I think I'm gonna let that dry first and then try to pick it off. My husband's gonna kill me. Well, this will be my last video, guys. Here is the, I just wanted to get a pretty, you know, decent sized thick coat on it so that I don't have to go back and paint it. There's some areas where the cardboard kind of got a little weird, but it's all right. We're always looking at these things from far away. Nobody's gonna be standing this close to it, and if they are, well, that's their problem. I think I'm actually gonna go ahead to the store right now and see if I can find actually some glittery tape, because I really don't feel like painting that much. So I want to get this done in the easiest way possible.
Okay, so since I don't do anything precisely around here, because what fun is that, I'm just basically gonna eyeball and pick a spot where I want to make this go around. This is painter's tape, where I think I want the blue to start. So I'm saying maybe around here or somewhere. Less painting for me to do. So we're just gonna put some painter's tape here as a guide. Right over the dent. Just getting it kind of roundabout, and then I can fix it after. Try to get it even. This is a little uneven here. It's alright that it's a little wrinkled down here as long as the top is straight. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be perfect. And I am going to be using craft paint. Okay, so we got the top portion painted here. Looks very strange on camera. I don't know why my camera is so light. So we have just the first coat on, and then we'll have to go back and we'll have to do the second coat. Okay, so I had to do another coat here, and I think I might actually have to do a third, just because
my brush was wet when I started, so. Okay, so my camera battery died, so I'm gonna show you guys from here. I put 3 coats on of the blue paint. I think I am going to peel off the tape before it dries, just so we don't get any crackling. But I'm pretty satisfied now. I'm not too worried about that line in the middle because I bought some ribbon to go around it. Typically, I know fireworks don't have ribbon, but this isn't a real firework, obviously. It's just a decoration. So we're going to take this. Let's see what happens here. See how satisfying this is. Ooh, that's pretty satisfying. Ah, little mess up right there. No big deal. I just hate tape. All right, let me peel this off so I don't make a mess. All right, so I peeled the tape off and this is what we are left with now. I think I'm going to cut stars out of some vinyl. This is gonna go on my porch, so I'm not too concerned about it getting wet. Okay, so the next step for me was to basically figure out how I'm going to make some stars. So I went into my Adobe Illustrator. Now, I don't really use the Cricut software, so I'm sorry, I can't really help you guys with that. But what I did was I made a 12 by 12 sheet, and I just fit as many stars as I could on that sheet. I think I was able to fit about 25 of them on the sheet. And so I laid it out in my Illustrator program, and then I took it over to Cricut and I cut it out. So this is the bane of my existence here when it comes to Cricut. You have to use these mats, and as you can see, they get quite disgusting and dirty. Now, there is a way to clean them, but I haven't tried it yet. I'm afraid of messing them up. But no matter how clean you try to keep these things, they get disgusting. Okay, so this is how the Cricut works. You want to put your vinyl. I did a horrible job cutting it, but put your vinyl on this mat. Now, for regular vinyl that has an adhesive backing on it, you want to put the vinyl face up. When you're using heat transfer materials, you want to flip it over. Don't mind all the paint on my hand. And you want to put that face down. So, and reverse your cut. But for this instance, we're just cutting regular. So I'm just going to cut this down to the size that I need. And then I'll show you what happens next. All right, so what we want to do now is we want to go up here. Now, this is an extra step that most people won't have to take because they won't be using Illustrator. But for me, I save it as an SVG. We'll just name it Stars. And that's that. We're gonna just save this on my desktop. Okay. All right, so here's the Cricut software. You could find shapes, and I'm sure you can make your own stars and shapes and stuff in here. I just, you know, instead of me learning a whole new program, I just do this. So what I do here is I'm gonna go to upload right there, and then I go into upload image, browse, and there are my stars saved right there for me, and there they are. Okay, so we're gonna upload those to the Cricut thing, and there they are. We're gonna add them to our canvas, and there they are. Now, what you need to do, they're all grouped together, but we need to attach them so that they come out on the vinyl the exact same way that we, you know, put them here. Otherwise, if you don't press attach, what it does is it's gonna lay everything out weird and separate it, and we don't want that. So then we go to make it. We're just gonna update. Oh, come on. Are you kidding? Okay, well, while that updates, I have my Cricut here on this little table, and I'm gonna show you guys how it loads. Now, I like to hold it with 2 hands, and we're gonna press this little button here, and what that's gonna do is it's gonna kind of suck it into the machine, but I need to hold it. Let me try to do this. So I just give it a little push. Sometimes it could load in a little crooked, so you definitely wanna push it in to this from the center. So this is all loaded now and ready to go. For some reason, my software updated, so let's go back to that. All right, looks like we're good. So we're just gonna move this up here, and we're gonna go to continue because everything looks good. And this is going to be regular vinyl, which right here, premium vinyl. Okay, so that's our setting, right? And then we got this. Everything's good to go. We don't have to flip it or anything. So the next thing we do is we come over to our machine and we press the C. And that is now going to start it. It's gonna do a basic kind of measurement thing here. And it's gonna start cutting. So this little thing in here is what does all the cutting. It basically just scores the very top of the vinyl, you know, somehow knows it to have enough pressure to cut it, but not cut it all the way through. We're gonna let that go for a little bit and then I'll come back. So we're still cutting over here. It looks like it's finishing up. It goes relatively quick. Look at that, we're finished. So all you do when you're done is you press this little button and it spits it out. All right, so here comes the fun part. Now, there's two ways we could do this. There's this picker tool, and this is what most people use to, you know, weed their vinyl. But this tool, to me, is for amateurs. I'm a real sign maker. I worked in a sign shop for years, so I find it more useful for the heat transfer vinyl. What us real sign makers use is an X-Acto knife. What we do now is we gotta make a little cut here because there's really nowhere to start since we're picking out the negative space, right? I'm definitely gonna need two hands to do this. Look how satisfying this is. Okay, this is the fun part when you get to peel everything away. Now, in sign world, you know, when you're working with a real vinyl cutter, this doesn't always come this easy, but for this, it's pretty good, I have to say. It does give a nice cut. Whoops, we just destroyed one of the stars though, and I'm supposed to be an expert. That's all right. That's all right. Now, typically they sell a clear tape, right? Which you would put over this, and we'd use a squeegee and we'd squeegee it out, and then what happens is it peels the star off the backing and then you then apply it. I don't think in this case I need that. I'm not gonna waste transfer tape because I really don't need it for this project. I think I could just pick these up with this and stick them right on, you know, with my thing. But typically that is what you would do. You would, you know, pick it up off the backing with the transfer tape and then place it on your object. You know, you squeegee it and then you peel the transfer tape off and it leaves the sticker on whatever you're sticking it on. But I'm not going to do that for this, you know, particular situation. Now, you're going to have to be very careful. Hope you guys can see what I'm doing here in peeling this up. We're just going to grab one of the ends here. Just kind of go under it. And there we go. But there you go. We got a star. I'm going to continue placing these one by one, and we'll come back when I'm done. All right, so far we got pretty good going around. I got to trim these off the top. They don't seem to want to stick to the cardboard, but you know, we got pretty good. I should have measured this now that I'm thinking about it, because I hope it doesn't end up, you know, getting wonky. But if it does, that's okay. One side is going to be the back, and it doesn't really matter too much. But I'm pretty happy with the way that this is coming out. All right, so I ended up having to cut another sheet of stars, but we're looking good. I did have a little blip here in the back, but I just kind of tried to offset it just a little bit. No big deal. Where the pattern just looks a little messed up, but should have measured that one out. All right, so I have to take you guys back in time a little because I kind of filmed this all out of order. But one thing I had to do is figure out how I was going to make the topper so that I could stick that little sparkler thing in it and have it sticking up to look like, you know, the fuse and the sparkles or whatever coming out. So I'm going to show you guys what I did to make the top. Okay, so in order to make this, you know, obviously we don't want to leave it open. What I'm going to do, and my son kind of crushed my piece of Coroplast here. This is Coroplast. It's used frequently in sign making. If you ever see those lawn signs that they have outside, they will use this. And vinyl sticks very well to this. They sell it at Home Depot in sheets, and they also sell it at Michael's. I've recently seen it there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the tube and I'm gonna trace around here, and we're gonna cut out a circle. So, all right, so I'm going over to the corner here just to make it easy on myself. And I'm just gonna go around here with the pencil just to get a general idea. Okay, so I cut my little circle out, and we're just gonna put it on the top here, and it's a little off. Probably should have traced the other side. Yeah, I definitely should have measured to the side I was gonna be using. Okay, so I actually decided to flip it over, and I'm gonna cut the other side just because I couldn't get it to fit. It's obviously not a perfect circle. You know, these things are not perfect. It's made out of cardboard. It's in the store, it gets crushed. So I'm gonna cut out this circle, and we're gonna use this one because this one's definitely gonna fit a little better than the one we had. Just a side note here, I would definitely use an X-Acto blade and not a scissor to cut the circle out because it's just a lot easier, and this stuff actually cuts pretty easy. Even though it's made of plastic, it's like a fluted plastic, almost like how cardboard is, so it's pretty easy to cut. All right, so I'm just gonna put some hot glue on this little piece of foam here. Kind of hard to do with one hand, but and we're just gonna flip this over. So, and we'll get it on there. Good enough. And there we go. We have our little topper. We'll just trim some of these pieces off. I'm not gonna glue it in just yet. Okay, guys, so here's what's gonna happen next. We got our large firecracker here, okay? What we're gonna do next is I ordered this tape, okay, online. It's duct tape, crafting tape, but I didn't realize, look how thin the roll is compared to like a regular roll of duct tape, which I've used some of this. So obviously it's not even as thick as it would be if it was brand new. But like, are you kidding? This was $7. Okay, a little editor's note here. Since I suck at math so badly, I used my drawing program on my computer to try to figure out the measurements. And so I measured the circumference of the tube, and then I made a, whatever it was, 27 and I think a ½ inch or ¼ inch square. And then I, you know, made rows the size of the tape, and I laid it all out. But I realized that that would have taken way too much. I would have needed 360 inches of the glitter tape, so I ended up having to alternate the glitter tape and the regular duct tape because I just didn't want to spend another $7. It's just absurd. I mean, that roll of tape is so small, so that's why I'm using 2 different tapes. Whatever the measurements are, I think I should be safe doing 5 stripes with this one roll here. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. But in order to do that, I want to, you know, I don't want to have the same issue that I had with the stars back here, where I kind of ran into an area where the pattern, you know, was colliding. I don't even know where it is. Oh, right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this around and just kind of mark off, you know, here, just so I know where to place my tape. So I'm going to do that, and I'll come back when I'm done. Okay, so the stripes were a major pain in the ass. I originally measured it and marked off, you know, my measurements, right? So it was like, the tape was like 1 5/8, and then I had to mark off, I think it was like 2 1/8 inches in between. And I don't know, I had to change it a whole bunch of different times because the first time I did it, I realized that it was gonna end up with 2 reds next to each other. So I had to change it up. So it was a really big pain in the ass. But when I finally got it all figured out, and it wasn't even perfect at that point, I just kind of gave up. It's off a little bit, but that's all right. It's handmade, you know? But anyway, once I got all that figured out, I started to lay the tape out, and that was, you know, pretty easy. For the first one, I just kind of lined it up with this T-square, and then I kind of just eyeballed it, to be quite honest with you, from there on out, just going within my measurements. You know, obviously, if you want to do this and be more precise, be my guest. This is only going to be out for like 2 weeks, and then it's going to go away, so it's good enough. Okay, so I got all the tape on, and we got it, but I ran into another problem, which I didn't calculate, which is back here, I got 2 of these in a row. I wish I had enough tape to do all the stripes in the glitter tape, but I just didn't, and I don't want to risk it. But I don't care. It's in the back and I don't really mind it. So let's finish this up. I'm getting excited. Okay, so it's now time to put some finishing touches on. So we have these sparkles now. I think what I'm going to do, we have the top here, we got the sparkles, I got a bow, and I also got some ribbon to tie around it or glue around it. So what I think I'm gonna do here is, because I only want to stick one of these through the hole that I made over here in the top, okay? So what I think I'm gonna do is, I have these nippers. These things come out in every DIY video that I do. They're great. I just, you know, I'm gonna dissect this one, and I'm going to tape some of these to this one with medical tape. So I got my little box there because I don't have, unfortunately, I don't have any white floral tape. So I'm gonna disassemble this one, and then I'm going to attach the sparkles onto that one and just wrap it with some white medical tape. I do have hockey tape, but I don't know where it is, and I think the hockey tape would probably work a little better, but I have to wait until my husband gets home. So I think it's in my son's hockey bag. So for the sake of just saving some time, I'm just gonna use the white medical tape. So I basically just took apart the one sparkle thing. I don't know what else to call it, so I'm just calling it a sparkle thing, but I just disassembled the one, and it was pretty easy. I thought I was going to have to cut it with the wire cutters, but I ended up not having to. I was just able to just rip them right off, and then I just kind of arranged them onto the other stem so that it was one piece, and then I just wrapped the tape around it, and it held together pretty good. So with the medical tape, but let's see if it holds up. I mean, medical tape usually is waterproof, but again, I'm putting this whole thing under my porch, so I'm not really concerned about it getting wet. And at this point in time, my son arrived home from school, and there was so much background noise that I just am doing this voiceover. But anyway, once I was done wrapping this, I just kind of shoved it into the topper there that I had made earlier. We cut out of the coroplast and glued the foam to. I just made a little hole with the knife, and then I just kind of shoved it through. And then I took my hot glue gun and I glued, you know, just around the hole, the top and the bottom, so that it would stay. I am not very good with the glue gun, so I made a little bit of a mess because I'm impatient and I didn't feel like waiting for it to dry. Okay, and unfortunately, I just realized that I deleted some footage by accident, so I don't have the footage of me gluing the topper to the thing. Yeah, I really suck at this whole YouTube thing. But anyway, I do have the final footage and the finished footage, so let's take a look at the final result. But before I get to that, I forgot. I just got to show you one more thing, and that is how I made it so that it doesn't blow over, hopefully, if it's windy. So I'll show you that real quick, and then we'll look at the final result. Okay, so this is how I'm going to stand this up. I just got a paint can and some cement pots that I messed up because the mold folded in on me, but they're nice and heavy, so I'm just gonna slip it over that, and hopefully it'll keep it stable for the time being.